This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz. You're watching the 5 on Racing Show, live from New York. Tonight we're going to talk about ATCO Dragway in New Jersey, Bristol on dirt, and some of the things that are going on in NASCAR when we come back.
Inravio.com.
Welcome back. Hey, before we talk about the dirt and Bristol, we're going to talk and I say that tongue-in-cheek, so to speak, we're going to talk about another racetrack or dragway, as it looks like it might be in danger of closing, ATCO Dragway in Waterford Township in New Jersey.
Really?
It's maybe no longer a dragway, as there's a proposal to turn the iconic 60-year-old Dragway into a storage lot for thousands of disabled cars for online auctioning. A meeting started 5 minutes ago to discuss and determine its fate. So as we speak, an iconic drag strip.
60 years is a long time.
60 years. 60
Unbelievable.
Years. You know, Englishtown, New Jersey, gone. Now ATCO. Nobody wants to have a drag. I guess the property is worth more money.
Then they can get in ticket sales.
You know,
I mean, that's kind of what we went through here on Long Island with, with all of that, the whole dragway thing on Long Island.
Yeah. I mean,
So who's this John Keane guy? He seems, we didn't even get on the air and he's already got is that a mad face?
that looks like I'm sick of this nonsense.
Or is that a grumpy face?
I think that's I'm sick of this.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is he sick of us or sick of the dragway
I think
thing?
he's sick of the NASCAR racing dirt at Bristol.
Oh, yeah.
Which we're going to talk about in one of our next segments. But a call to ATCO Dragway's main office was being answered live, by a real person. And the only word they're given is the schedule we posted on our Facebook page. Because I guess everybody's calling. What's going to happen and you got to admit, you have a drag car. Your buddy has a drag car. This guy has a drag car, and you're going to find out a week before the season opens that
You don't have a drag car.
you might just have a swing set in your backyard for kids to play in.
Unbelievable.
It's sad.
Well, I'm familiar with that. I got 2 race cars I can't go anywhere with.
No.
So
No.
I'm familiar with that.
Man. So it's just one of those things, and it's sad that. Property, as we spoke, property today is so valuable as something else.
That's something else. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I mean, we got somebody who was offered a couple $1 million for the property,
Yeah.
and it's worth more than the business there.
Exactly.
What's the value of that?
And I guess when you look at a racetrack and penny pinching, pencil pushing, bean counters will sit there and say, how much could they be giving us in revenues and tax revenues? But they don't look at the residuals. They don't look at the people who are going to these places and coming. They got to buy gas. They got to buy food and ice and drink and beer and this and that. And the local parts stores, if something breaks, then the parts supply doesn't, because the parts truck can't bring everything.
You know what? It's all the residual things, and absolutely, we talked about that a million times. But you know what it is, because the property is getting to be so expensive, and it's worth more money. And when they think about it, you know what? I can take that money, I can put that in the bank. I don't have to worry about the week, all the little farts and fiddles that happen, and the things you have to worry about on a daily basis in order to run a business.
Yeah.
And it's very true. I mean, it's a crapshoot. Are you going to get a good car count? Are you not? Who's making money? Who can afford to come race and who can't?
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. And like I said, nobody's building new racetracks. And I saw in social media just the last few days, people from Long Island are talking, hey, you know, Grumman has that empty facility. Why don't we go there? Well, Top Gun Sports and Entertainment tried to go there 20 years ago, and they had the backing to do it, and it was going to be a multi-purpose facility. Didn't happen.
Well, they were going to they weren't going there, they were going to Palm Meadows, right, which is where they wanted to go.
Well, that was the initial start.
Because years before that, I proposed a track at the Grumman-Calverton site.
Right.
When Grumman still owned it, before the lease was up with the Navy.
Yeah.
Part of the problem with that is that it still boils down to you need to have an investor, you need to have a plan in place, you need to go to the town and say this is all the information, which is going to cost you somewhere around $200,000 to $300,000 to put together.
Right.
This is the information, and this is where we want to do it, and this guy's backing us, and he's going to put it together, and then they say yes or no. Right. And of course, that was never really done.
No. Everybody thinks you just
mention it and somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
No, not at all.
And especially politicians, they're not going to step up and go, hey, by the way, we're going to put a racetrack over here.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Well, the ones that say that, they don't come through, they talk to the audience.
Well, they just want the votes. Yeah, I support you guys. Whatever you want to do, we should definitely have one. And,
But, the way it's looking, we're going to have racing or drag racing the way it was in the 50s, down
231?
231, Edison Avenue, West Babylon, Williamsport Parkway up by Whiskey Road.
Sad but true, but that's kind of what they do. Didn't they just grab like 20, 30 cars with trailers and trucks and the whole deal on the expressway like a couple of months back?
Yeah. It's
But I think that was also part of that plan was we're going to do this, and we're going to show them that we really need a racetrack in order to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not showing them nothing.
No, that's not,
They don't care. No politician is going to step up
No.
and say, I'm going to bring racing to your community, and it's going to be loud, and you're not going to like it, like they did at Dune Road with the West Hampton drag strip.
It's just
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And when you look at some of the how do I call it? And I don't want to offend anybody, but when you talk about and discuss with these people, I'm not just saying they're guys, people, men, women, children that have these types of cars, they don't understand that you just don't get a payloader, take down the trees, pour some asphalt and concrete down, and get some porta potties and some benches and go racing.
No.
There's so much more to it. Environmentalists are involved, sound people come in. It takes years to build a facility like that. And I can remember Bob Baer, the late Bob Baer, who built and operated Loudon Racetrack, which is now the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, when he was proposing that. And he wanted a second tier of grandstands, partially for the press box and the operations of the race and the reporters and all of that kind of stuff and TV.
To make it nicer.
Right, and the county said no. After the fire chief stood up and said, we can't allow that second tier. And somebody asked, well, why not? And he said, I don't have a piece of equipment big enough
to reach it
in the event of a fire.
And then in that case, what you do is you buy them the piece of equipment.
And that's what Bob Baer said.
Which is exactly
how much will this equipment cost? And I don't remember the number, but it was in the double-digit millions. And he said, let's say round numbers, that piece of equipment is $10 million, and there's no way that our fire company can afford that. So Bob Baer snapped his finger, somebody came over, handed him a bag.
$2 million. Yep.
There you go, here's your check, go buy that equipment. Can I have my tier now?
Yeah. Well, I've actually been in that. We proposed not a racetrack, but we proposed a facility, and it was going to be a 4-story facility.
Right.
And the township we were proposing in, they only had a 85-foot truck that was not going to reach 4 stories. So that was one of the concerns. And it was about $2 million to buy a new piece of apparatus for them to reach that, which is understandable. And that's something that's done all the time. That's not anything that's out of the ordinary.
Right.
But typically, when it comes to places that are going to draw big crowds and make big noises, that's when the local people, even if it's an Amazon facility, the local people get involved, and I don't want that in my backyard.
Yeah, no, they don't. And you look at places where they've taken racetracks, successful racetracks that was still successful, busy, and they closed them or sold them for other things There's a track, I believe it's Flemington Speedway in New Jersey. They tore the racetrack down to put up a shopping mall, and the shopping mall now is out of business. And that racetrack was there, another one that was there forever. So it just.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was I was there at Flemington quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I worked a modified tour race there, and I had never gone there, and I never understood that there was really. I'm not sure if there was. They called it the track with no straightaways or the track
flat.
with no.
You just kept going around.
Yeah,
there was
just
no
making a left.
straightaway. That's all it was.
You know, and these things close. Nobody's building new ones, folks. Nobody's building new ones. So those of you who are on your social media bashing your local racetrack, when it's closed, are you going to be happy?
Think twice.
You know, is that when you're going to say, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that?
And you know, on the other end of the coin, the racetracks are trying really hard. I mean, especially the one here on Long Island, I know for sure. They're trying really hard to bring people in, whether it's the people that are the competitors or the people that are spectators, and they're really trying hard to bring them in. So they're doing everything they can to upgrade the facility with what they're allowed to do to make that happen. And then with this whole COVID thing, it's just not helping their situation. I feel for them because it's a tough ball of wax.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tough ball of wax to make all of that happen.
It is.
And, you know, and I know they're doing the best that they can, and we need to support them whatever we can do. I mean, I wish I was able to, but I can't bring the cars that I have out there.
Right.
I can't run them there.
No.
And right now is not the time for me to start building new stuff. So.
No.
It's tough. It's a tough thing for everybody, you know, because you know, all of us spend a lot of money and a lot of time and effort to put cars together to go racing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's tough for them because they're trying to keep everything going and keep the doors open. I get all of it. It's tough, but we need to support them whatever we can, and we try to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? We're part of a family, and you know, sometimes we do have things to say about you know, racing, but we're part of a racing family, and we talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it's all when it's all done and said, it's all good, and we're supportive of everybody who's doing it. And I'll tell you what, I just want to finish off by saying all of these tracks have done an awesome job through this whole COVID thing, trying to do the best they can. Kudos. I mean, they really have stepped it up and done things I wouldn't have thought of doing.
Yeah, I don't hear that one. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Bristol and what went on today that should have went on Saturday and Sunday when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, what's I was going to say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Welcome back. Hey, some news in from one of our longtime supporters, Shane Bailey. Joey Logano won the Cup race at Bristol in the dirt. So congratulations to Joey. And also earlier today, the Camping World Truck Series finally got their event in after Saturday's downpour of rain that NASCAR thought they could get in. But after one lap, they thought better of it. And the pictures that I saw, because I didn't see Fridays, I didn't even put the race
There was
on.
a lot of water, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of water, it was mud. These guys couldn't see where they were going, so the NASCAR did the right thing. And they had planned on running the trucks last night, Sunday night, after the Cup race. And just, there was no way, the rain was not going to stop. So they ran everything today. The trucks ran this morning, or midday, I should say.
Yeah, 12 noon, right?
12 noon. So in the results there, Martin Truex Jr. was the winner, leading 105 of the 150 laps. Ben Rhodes was second. Rafael Lacera was third, followed by Todd Gilliland fourth. Chase Briscoe was fifth. Then we have Grant Enfinger sixth. Zane Smith seventh. Parker Kligerman was eighth. Austin Hill was ninth, and Austin Wayne Self rounded out the top 10. Pole sitter John Hunter Nemechek crashed out on lap 48. Now, a lot of people are saying, and we discussed, we talked, is the track going to hold up? How are they going to do this? So I kind of did a little research on the hows and the whys, I guess, of how they did this, how they made this racetrack. And this is what they did. Bristol, as we all know, it is a high bank concrete.
They flattened it out by adding the dirt different.
They added the dirt.
They built up the, well, you think about it, how do you put the dirt up there and have it roll down, I guess? But they built up the dirt on the infield side higher than the outside. So basically it was like 9 feet on the in and a foot on the out.
Yep.
So that they could flatten the track out.
Yes. Yeah, they went from what they did, and I guess I put my glass on for this one. Bristol became dirt for this past weekend's events. It was 23,000 cubic yards of dirt, to be exact. Enough dirt to fill an in-ground Olympic pool 7 times. For my beer drinking buddies, that's 150,000 kegs of dirt. That's a lot of dirt. Here's how it was constructed. There was 2 inches of sawdust laid down on top of the
to protect the
pavement.
concrete.
Then Old Bristol stockpile formed the dirt base, and this was topped by lime-treated clay. Then Bluff City raceable dirt on top of that. And as you said, it was 9 to 10 feet of dirt in the turns, changing the banking from 28 degrees there to 19.
Yeah, and now to top it all off, they actually tried different dirt to find out which was going to hold up the best.
What was going to hold up the best?
Now, I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm thinking you probably could have found a dirt track somewhere to make this happen without bringing all of this dirt in.
Especially in Tennessee.
It's just me. I mean, you know, you could have probably found something, even if you had to bring in temporary bleachers or something, and you know, something else which might have been easier to make happen.
But now, they did have the Dirt Nationals there and whatnot, but I was reading an article in Tennessee, Bristol, Tennessee newspaper, I should say, that it's going to take them a month to clean the place, to power wash the seats, because the dirt goes all over. I mean, it goes up.
Goes everywhere.
You know, and to power wash the place, and they're going to remove the surfaces by layer and store all of that stuff that I just talked about.
Really?
For future events.
Really?
On the property.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
I can tell you that I had to repair my house after Sandy, and I had a dirt driveway for a while, and I can tell you I'm still sweeping up dirt.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a whole dirt racetrack and having to clean all of that up to make that so you can get in there. I don't know. That's a lot of work. Sounds like to me.
And according to our good buddy Shane Bailey, who obviously home and watched the race and waited for us to come on, that Bristol and NASCAR announced that the Cup Spring Race next year will be on dirt. So that's why they saved all that stuff. They knew what they were doing.
They're going to come back and do it again.
Build a dirt track. Like you said.
And take it apart.
You know, temporary bleachers. The way they raced in the 40s and the 50s. Somebody's farm, they came with a tractor and made 2 lanes and.
You couldn't have found a dirt track to, go in there and take over for a day. I guess it didn't have the facilities to make it happen. I don't know.
No, it's
It's a 5/8 of a mile, so I mean, there's some big dirt tracks out there.
Oh yeah. And I've been to a few dirt tracks in my day. Volusia County down in Florida.
I've been to a couple.
Cottage Grove Speedway in Oregon, and New Egypt down in New Jersey. And I'll tell you what, Orange County Fair Speedway of Middletown, New York.
I've been to the one in Pennsylvania there, right by the horse track.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called. This was a while ago.
Yeah, my memory's starting to.
And then we were to one in where was that, Texas or New Mexico or something? It was a dirt track. It was funny because the cars, Messina Valley, yeah. So it would go over the car. It's funny because like if they missed the turn, they'd go right off the track, and they'd come up on the other turn.
Oh wow!
On the straightaway. So they, if they got a little loose or something, right off there, they'd come up on the other side. It was funny.
See, that's how Bethel.
That was the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah, Bethel used to be like that. I mean, it was a paved racetrack. It was a paperclip. It was a miniature Martinsville. And if you lost it coming out of 2, you went over the berm, you went down the street, came through the pit gate, to come into the pits on the street, and come back onto the racetrack.
Yeah. Well, didn't they do that at Flemington too? That was dirt, right?
Yeah,
So
years ago, yeah.
And that was just a constant turn. I raced there a couple times.
Man, I never raced there. Like I said, I worked a couple of races there, and
it was just one turn. There was no straightaway.
Yeah, and Jimmy Carter, not the ex-president Jimmy Carter, said they could move this race to Knoxville. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad idea.
I'm thinking there's got to be some alternatives that work better.
But you know what? With Bristol Motor Speedway being owned by Bruton Smith. He wants things to be different. And I'll tell you what.
That's different.
It's definitely different.
But let me ask you this question. They're not going back to Bristol, right?
Yeah, well, they got a 4 race.
They got a 4 race. They're going back to Bristol's going to be on the concrete?
Yeah.
And then they're going to go back to dirt?
Yeah, that's why they're saving it.
I'm thinking Bristol's just going to be a dirt track. Put the dirt there and leave it.
It's like that bent A-frame that you have. You should throw it in the dumpster, but you save it.
I just threw that in the dumpster. I did. I was moving my stuff, and I threw it in the dumpster. For years, I had that thing up on the top.
Now you know what's going to happen.
It wasn't even a bent A-frame. It was a bent clip. It was all twisted up.
Somebody's going to say, they're going to post on junk brace parts, whatever. Anybody got with this? And
oh, no good. No. It was outside for 20 years. When I pulled it down and I flipped it over, there were holes going right through it. It was so rotted. Oh, yeah, it was rotted.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was going in the dumpster.
So you would have had to add weight to that if you're going to use it. I don't throw away nothing.
You'd tape some pizza box over it and go racing.
There you go. Oh, my
it's just a
pizza
fun
box.
clip. What are we talking
pizza
about?
Box. I'll tell you. Somebody just broke my guillons about my pizza box firewall. All right, let's go. I'm going to get this story straight for once more. I did not race the car with a pizza box firewall. The person before me did.
That old gag, yeah.
And I can remember sitting in the car and looking at the firewall, all black and pretty and shiny, and I'm sitting in the seat, and there was a little rectangle.
A little square through there that
like
says,
that. And I was like,
save 10, get 1 free pizza.
Can we cover that up? And on the other side is where the coupon was, like you said. Save 10 coupons.
Save 10 coupons, you get a free pie out of the deal. It was coming right through the paint.
So Fast Al Amarino, he reminded me of the pizza box. I didn't drive that pizza box car.
But listen, to his defense, he may have driven or may not have driven. He cannot either confirm nor deny that he drove the pizza box car. But it wasn't like your local pizza box, car. It was, like the Domino's ones that had the ridges.
Yeah.
So it was a little
double walled.
It was double walled.
Double walled corrugated.
It was real corrugated, pizza box. So it had some strain to it. We are race car drivers. We know what structure is all about.
I know the person who drove it was a driver out of Florida who came up for a championship day, and he drove that car with a pizza box. Now, how it didn't burn up from the exhaust heat or something, I don't know. But
hey, as race car drivers, we do stupid things. That's what we do.
Oh, man,
we're born that way. Hey, speaking about Flemington, here's a fun one for you. I went there for the Race of Champions. I went there with a Nova, 75 Nova, and first off, they, okay, you got to buy new shoes because your shoes weren't qualified.
Yep.
You had to buy gloves because you needed gloves.
Yep.
So I get all of that, and then they measure the crankshaft. The crankshaft was 10 inches off the ground. Oh, it's got to be 13 inches. And I'm like, so what do we do with that? That's 3 inches. I can't shim that motor up that much. What do you do with everything else? The hood wouldn't even fit back on the car. You had to run with the hood on the car. So we took the car, and I did the jacking bolts, and I brought the thing up. It looked like a gasser from the 1950s. The front was up like this. Measured it 13 inches. Okay, you're good to go. Got it back to the pit, brought it back down to 10, went out and raced it.
See? We got to take a break. When I come back, we come back. I'm gonna.
When I come back, where am I going?
I don't know. Men's room. When you come back, I'm gonna share a tech story with you that some of you may know and some of you may not know.
All right, buckle in.
When we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8, Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian. We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
Hey, this is Chris Less Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV Network.
Hey, welcome back. Chuck has a little. We got to pay the bills here.
So listen, Village Music Shop. You see them in the commercials there. So be safe, have fun, play music. So whether live or virtual online, you can have safely masked and social distance. In person, we have music lessons for all ages, styles, and levels from beginner to advanced. Also added is classes for recording technology, music production, and the art of DJing. So go to Village Music Shop. Online University, give them a call, 1-800-HEY-DUDE, or message them. You can get started today. There'll be a link in the chat, so you guys can just kind of click on it and go right there. You can sign up. Do it safe from your home. It's pretty cool.
There you go. So anyway, here we are. I'm driving figure eight cars at Riverhead Raceway back. I think it's 1989. So for those of you who were born, after that, you wouldn't have known.
Was that the yellow car?
No, this was the red car that I bought from the Sprague brothers that Tommy Kraft won the World Championship Figure 8 race with some questionable engine parts. And when they interviewed him, he had a Miller Lite T-shirt on when ESPN interviewed him. And a couple of days later, Miller Lite sent him like money because they got a free commercial. But my car, the rules were from the ground to the top of the roof had to be 45 inches. I never thought to measure that. I bought the car, got in, and went racing. So somebody comes up to me, you might be a little low.
45 inches to the center of the roof.
Yeah, to the highest point on the roof.
That's why they make 2x4s.
So I measure it. I'm like at 43.
That's easy.
So we're sitting there, we're figuring, we'll just blow the tires up real big, because we figure they're going to make us drive through it, go around, get back online. Then you let the air out. No. The late Carl Rackoff, who was one of the technical officials there, just at the base before you go up on the ramp to go on the racetrack, he set up this contraption that had this little thing.
A tie wrap?
Yeah, and your roof, as long as it touched, I'll do it this way. As long as it touched, you were good.
You were good.
So we can't do what I initially wanted to do. So we always barbecued after, so we jacked the car up and we put a bunch of charcoal briquettes in the springs until we had an inch more than we needed. So I'm going real easy because I don't need the charcoal briquettes to collapse.
And falling out.
And so I'm going, and my roof just does that, just touches it. You're good. So I go up the ramp, I hit the gas pedal, the ones in the back brake, I hit the brake, the one in the front brake. I'm good to go.
That's a good idea. That's
You
pretty,
know,
that's pretty genius.
you know,
I did the 2x4 in the brain bar.
oh, okay.
You know, you just do a little piece of wood in there, and you just kind of kink the roof a little bit,
Well,
just to bump it up a little bit. And you make
This
it in.
car was kind of tiny. Its nickname was the little car, and I barely fit in it. And
What was it, like a Vega or something?
it was a Mustang II that was built for the late Bobby Lane, who was maybe 5'1", 5'2", 100 pounds. So
So it was a little car.
when I got in it and banged through the gears at the starter race, there wasn't enough room for my 2 feet. So I had to cross my 1 foot under my knee.
Oh, boy.
And I had to brake with the right foot as well. So that car, believe it or not, was running up until a couple of years ago. But anyway, so there was this other thing that I did mid-season. Pulled into the racetrack. There you go, rules addendum. Effective next Saturday, but if you have it this Saturday, you got to add 250 pounds. Clutch rule for the V8s and the figure 8s. I just bought a quarter master clutch for $650. It's $19.89, so that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't even turn a lap with it yet. So I quietly go
Pull it out
over
and
there.
give it back to Dennis.
Once it's bolted in, that's it. So I go to the head guy in a very professional way. We're chatting. I said, listen, I just bought this thing. I'm not running up front. Can we? Yep. Next week, you better have the new clutch. And the new clutch rule was stock, clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel, nuts and bolts, 32-pound minimum. What the heck am I going to do? Now, I'm not that mechanically inclined to figure this all out. So we're sitting in my shop, sitting on a tire. So I think I got an idea. Give me that rule again. And the rule said all V8 figure 8 stock cars must have stock clutch and the clutch press plate flywheel with the nuts and bolts is 32 pounds. Now, on the firewall, to the driver's side of the drive shaft, I had a 25-pound weight. Why 25 pounds? Because I needed the weight there, and I didn't have a 35-pound weight, so I bolted that one on. So I look at this rule again. Now, some folks know, some folks might not know, I briefly attended law school.
That must have been brief.
It was like 2 years at Hofstra. And my primary focus was business law, constitutional law. So I knew how to write and read contracts and stuff. So I'm looking at this, and I say to my one and only crew guy, because that's all I had back then, I said, this rule doesn't say this clutch has to be functional. It says you have to have one. Yes. So we unbolt the 25-pound weight and take a stock clutch, press plate, and flywheel and bolt it to where the 25-pound weight was. Now it's race day. I'm racing. I'm coming off the corners like no tomorrow. Mike Scarito's, Bill Bryce's right-hand man. I finished like 11th. I'm pulling off the racetrack, stands in front of my car. Oh, what's up? Go to tech. Go to tech. I finished. I'm not even in the top 10. You're the at random. Go to tech. So I go to tech, and the tech inspector there says, "Why are you here?" I don't know. They sent me. Next thing I know, number 1 and number 2 are coming down to the tech area. We want to see his clutch. Okay. So being that I don't know how to take out a clutch, I kid you not, I had to get a guy to take out a clutch for me. So he does all the stuff that you do, like you're taking out the real clutch. And because my bolt-on clutch, the headers were next to them, it was hot. So he gets all the rags and he takes it, he puts it on the table, and it's hot. It should be hot. I just ran 20 laps with it. He says, what's the problem? We thought you still had the quartermaster in the way you were coming off the corners.
I thought you were going to tell me it said that the clutch had to be bolted in the car, and it's bolted in the car. Didn't say it had to be used in the car.
Yeah.
Now, that would have been good.
Some of the things that I did back in the day, I had a 35-pound weight that was on a slider because I wasn't handling good, so I needed a certain amount of weight to go one way in the left-hand turn, and then you make the right-hand turn. I needed to go a certain way, and you would hear sliding. The rest of the thing you'd hear. Then you go in the other corner, then you hear in reverse. Nobody knew. Nope, nobody.
Did it help you? Probably not.
No. But I had to try something because I was like finishing like 17th, 18th, you know.
Well, at least you weren't last.
No. You know. I mean, and there was the other thing that that I did with my daughter Erin when she was running. She ran champ cards. In the EKRA, you could have a substitute driver drive for you twice. In a season, you still got your points. So Jessica broke her wrist playing soccer, and so she couldn't drive. And it was a big race, a lot of points on the line, whatever. So being I'm the head guy at the racetrack, I go out like on a Friday afternoon with Jessica's champ cart and my daughter Erin, and we practiced for a couple hours. I set up cones on the track and said, Erin, stay between these 2 cones, you'll win tomorrow. We ran out of gas. They used methanol. Sunday comes, Erin starts last because she's a new person. She almost wins the race, so she comes in second. And they're lining them up, and as they put the winning champ card on the scales, I'm like, no. Jessica is 15 pounds heavier than Erin. And with Jessica, we were right. It did this. So I run to the trailer, and I had a bunch of hockey puck leads, and I put some in her helmet, and I put the helmet on the seat, and I said, how much weight was that? And my buddy says, we need one more. So he said, Erin, here, put this in your pocket. No, she goes, no, Dad, I'm not going to cheat. So nobody heard her. We get on, and it just, okay, you're good. Yeah. That's why they made me a technical inspector when I was on the modified tour. I knew what to kind of look for. See, but the difference between me and past tech guys, because if you showed up with your tour modified and I found something that You know, the gray area I gave you, but if it was black or white, I'd say, don't win and don't have it next time. And it all worked. It all worked out. There's no, you know, nobody wants to be embarrassed, and nobody, you know, even.
Well, there was a lot of things in the rules that you could do, and there was a lot of gray areas that they really didn't mention. And then when somebody did it and they had success with it, then they put it in.
Yeah. I mean, there was a late model guy. I knew he was, I don't want to say cheating, but he was bending the rules very badly.
Well, everybody bends the rules. They read the rules and then read them again.
This guy. So I got him on a part, I think. So his crew chief and him come in. I hand him the rule book. All right. What does it say about that part? No, you read it out loud, because that was my thing. You know, read it out loud, like I'm a first grade teacher. And the guy reads it and he goes, "Hey, what's the problem?" He says, "Your part ain't that." He goes, "Sure as heck is. Your part's not that." And he said, "Right here, it says," and he under with a pen on my rule book, "factory stock." Yeah, yours is a factory stock. "Oh, hold on," he says to me. "When I went to that factory, they had it in stock."
That's a good one.
I said, "You got me." So then the following week, they all got an addendum. All rule interpretations are at the discretion of the official in charge.
Well, we did that with the, when I was racing, you could use an intake manifold provided that it was a stock production manifold. But they didn't say that it had to be from a car. So I got a high-rise manifold that was a marine manifold.
Ooh, okay.
But it was still a production,
Absolutely.
A production manifold.
Yeah.
So it was still a production. Matter of fact, I just sold that, as a matter of fact. That's why it comes up in my head. So we did that, and then Jack Merkel made a special cut in there that got me another 25 horsepower out of it.
Nice.
Besides having the high-rise manifold. And we ran that for quite a while before they said, all right, everybody can have an Edelbrock, Edelbrock manifold.
Right, you know,
Which they should have did in the first place.
There was
That was
so
a lot.
many
That was a
things.
lot cheaper than buying that cast iron one.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, when you look at the rules, and the late Bobby Lane, he came into the office one time, because here's a guy that could read the rules, and when I say read the rules, read the rules. We'll go back to the 70s, and again, it was a figure 8 car, and most cars then ran leaf springs. So they were bobtailing, what they called it bobtailing the rear end to make it the rear end shorter, so you were through the intersection of the X that much less. So guys are so Walt Edsel says, you can only go as far back as the rear spring mount. Now on a leaf spring car, that's almost to the bumper.
That's almost to the bumper. That's back pretty far.
So Bobby Lane shows up the following week. His back end was where the rear end housing was, to the rear window. They bring him over. "Bobby, what's the rule say?" He says, "Yeah, it says the rear spring mount." So you can't do that.
It's a coil spring car.
He goes, "I got coil on this."
That's the only way you can make that happen.
So, you know.
I had a leaf spring car. I had the leaf spring car with the fiberglass
Yep.
leaves and the roller sliders, and I made them adjustable so I could adjust the heights.
Yeah.
I still have that car.
Wow.
I might have to put that back together just for the hell of it.
That's phenomenal. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on in NASCAR and other things when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raoul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, and you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, come back. We're just looking at some of the comments that people are saying. And Rob Nunziati, yes, that is the car that I sold to your brother Knuckles. Actually, I didn't sell it to your brother. I sold it to John Zell, and your brother ended up with it. So, yeah, that was, I liked that car. I liked that. That was my first real figure-8 race car, because the ones I had before that were just, I don't know. I mean, my first one was a decent car, built by Clay Walston, who had some success and a handful of victories, and second in the points, I believe, in 1978 at Ister Speedway. But I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody told me. I sat in the grandstands for like 10 years and then say, oh, I could do this, and then you go buy a car and you realize you can't. And for those who've raced at these smaller tracks, these ISOPs and the Riverheads and the Seekongs and whatnot, once you put it in your high gear, your second gear, whatever, you just leave it there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, third gear, that's it.
No, not me. No.
Second gear, third gear, that was it.
I had the green flag fly. I'm in first. I banged it into second, drew it into third, hit the turn, downshifted to first. I was banging through the gears, downshifting. I didn't know. I did a 10-lap race. I was dying, and I was in good shape. My Uncle Johnny says to me, what the hell's the matter with you? I said, my arm's going to fall. Oh, this shifting. He goes, you don't shift. You leave it in second gear. You go. Oh, I didn't know. So that made it a little better, but still, I was horrible. I was horrible. I was not good. 1978. Wasn't good. And 1 year, I never drove my car off the racetrack 1 year. Me and the tow truck, it got to the point the tow truck guy just went to my spot.
Every time I think about getting towed off the track, I always think about that one Charger car that they would double hook them. And it was so much weight, they used to have 3 guys sit on one Nerf bar because the car would want to spin.
That was the
and
Chucky
flip.
Stoya
Oh,
Charger.
I didn't want to say the name, but yeah.
Oh, no, maybe it wasn't.
He had like something like 75, 80% left side weight.
Yeah.
And everybody wondered why he was zipping through the turns like nothing.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
And then they came up with the 54%.
54% rule.
Wow.
Anyway, like we headed down to the Wall Stadium for the rescheduled Turkey Derby. And if anybody's ever been to the Turkey Derbies, and this was the 52nd annual Turkey Derby. Due to COVID, it was canceled. And they tried to do it like New Year's weekend and canceled. They tried to do another time, and the state governors, no, you can't. So what they did is they spread it out over 2 weekends. And we had gone on Saturday, and it was what I call Chamber of Commerce weather. It was in the mid-60s, not a cloud in the sky. As you can see, this red isn't, this is sunburn. Don't get sunburn, I did. They did not have a lot of cars. And I was talking to Dennis Fries, owner of Oval Speed, and I was, what happened to the cars? Because I'm not out of the loop, but I'm not in like I used to be. And he says, well, you got the tour mods opening up in 10 days in Martinsville. None of those guys are going to come and chance wrecking cars. And, for theoretically a meaningless race points-wise, but if it's a race that's held at the end of the season in November,
yeah, they would do it.
You go do it. Take your shot.
That's kind of why it was a good spot.
There was other races in other places, and and other touring series that were scheduling things. So the modified car count was not what it
Normally would be.
normal is an excellent word. And the TQs were there. They put on a nice show. They had a handful of cars, and they had the late models, the limited late models there, which there were not a lot of, but they put on a race. And I was sitting in the midway having a bite to eat, and this poor guy, the guy that walks around with the broom and that little thing, that swoops it into the thing, you know, and one of the fans went up to him and started chastising him. You know, you're going to have a lot of upset people. There's only 37 cars. The guy just cleans the bathroom. What does he care? But he's going to argue with this kid, you know. And the kid's trying to say that. I said to the guy, yo, the guy, he's the janitor. The owner of the place is in the office. Go be a tough guy there. You know, instead of being happy that the Kraus family did what they could do to get the race in, fought with the municipalities and won with the
It made it
guidelines.
happen. Again, support your local track.
You know, just go and enjoy it. You know?
What was it? What did it cost to get in there?
The grandstands was 30, which that's the going rate. You know?
Yes, for us here on the island, yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, you go to a Thompson or Stafford, it's 50 or 75.
Really?
You know, you go to the local police here, I think it's 36 at Riverhead. So it's a grandstand fee. That's not a bad thing.
It's not $8 like Bethel.
No.
You can get the hot dogs and the beans.
Hot dogs and beans, and it was like a half a hot dog sliced up thin.
That's
But and it was a beautiful day, and a lot of Long Islanders were there, you know, racing. Got to see some old friends, and Timmy Salamino was there helping his girlfriend in her TQ, and somebody said, "Do you have your stuff?" I do.
I heard. And he went and they raced it. It did good,
I
right?
ran home, got the car, and drew Timmy in. And I'll tell you what, for not being in a car, just hopping in. Now I know they dialed some things in and out after practice, but he did all right.
He did all right. I heard.
Timmy, a fan of our show, and he's a one-time guest way back when, and he's another one that did a little video for us on an anniversary show, a couple of anniversary shows ago. That took 7 takes, but we had fun doing it. It was a good laugh. But it's...
So why don't they have a race at Wall Stadium called Off the Wall? I want to see a race named Off the Wall. Come on.
All right.
Where you rung with your brung or something. Something crazy, you know.
Something crazy.
Why don't they take modifieds and chain them together? And
I'm not thinking they
Do
would
that.
do that.
uh-huh.
Maybe some old Charger cars.
I got plenty of those.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, the
Do like a school bus demo or something?
yeah.
With a modified cars on top of the bus? Who knows? Crazy.
Rob Nunziata's talking about the car my first figure eight car that I bought for Riverhead. He says, that was tiny, because we called it the little cars. I was tiny. I tried driving it once, rolled around the pits, and that was enough for me, because there was nowhere to put your legs, because Bobby Lane was so small and so
And nobody
skinny.
who bought it moved the seat back?
It couldn't. There was because the
Right
bar,
up against the
right
roll bar?
against the roll bar, right against. He built that car for him.
So in other words, that had to be bought by somebody 5 foot or less.
Well, Tommy Kraft ran it with success. I don't know how he got. I know how he got in. I don't know how he got out of it, but he did. And then they built him a bigger car, and they used to refer to the big car and the little car. And I bought the little car, and it had a Pontiac J2000 body. And when I say I had trouble getting in and out of this thing, and then once I was racing, I used to bang my knuckles on the dashboard, throwing it into high gear. And like I said, once I went through the shifting, I had to take my left leg and put it, like you're sitting on your recliner, you know, you're like a leg underneath there.
Yeah.
You know, and God forbid I had to stop real quick. I just popped it in neutral and hit the brake because there was no way I was going to hit the clutch and downshift. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I had a good time with that car. I almost at one point wanted to buy it back and restore it, but because that was the car that won the last racing event at Isis Speedway. Tommy Kraft won that race. Gravel will argue with me that there was a demolition derby after that, and him and I have a friendly little back and forth. Demolition derbies are not racing, they're events.
They're an event, yeah.
And but the sign, the historical sign that's on,
He says Tommy was younger and thinner.
Tommy was younger.
Was he ever younger or thinner? He's always been the same size and age to me. Every time I ever see him, he's like the same guy. Oh, here's a picture back from the 60s. He's the same guy or no? Younger and thinner.
Oh my God! But yeah, it was just, I don't know. I was gonna restore that guy. I wanted to restore it, but whatever. I think the guy would probably want $1 gazillion for it, but who knows?
It's still out there.
That's what he says.
Still running?
Yeah. So it's still out there. So anyway, we got a couple of minutes left. They're telling us. So.
Okay. Stretch.
Put in for that overtime. See if it's approved. But anyway, but yeah, you know.
So what's on the racing agenda for this weekend?
You know, I didn't even look. I know they're in Martinsville in 2 weeks because I had tickets. Due to COVID, they moved me. I don't like where I was moved to, but if anybody would like those tickets, you wouldn't know the difference of the seats that I had, so you'd be happy. So just PM me, call me up if you ever know. I have tickets. There is lodging in the area if you want to go for everything. But I have tickets to the Xfinity race on Friday night and the Cup race on Saturday night, and the modified tour is there Thursday night, April 8th, which is my 63rd birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
63, 60. Who would have thought?
Wow.
So
Actually, it sounds like a good race. Why aren't you going?
COVID. They moved my seats.
But you still got seats.
I still have seats, but I don't like where they are. If I wanted to sit there, I would have sat there.
So you sit there.
You know me.
You never know. It might be a good spot.
It might be, but you know what? For years, for 20 years, my seat at Martinsville, when I didn't work the race or drive the caution car, was top row in front of the suites, start-finish line. I don't want to sit nowhere else. Just saying.
Wah.
What is it, Mr. Finster, Baby Finster? What is that? What are they calling it?
Babyface Finster?
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You might go to, hey, this is not really bad. Yeah, you might be all right.
My luck, I'd move to a seat that's better. They throw me out. Because I keep getting drawn out of racetracks when I go there lately. So, except for Wall. Anyway, they're doing jumping jacks in the control room, so I guess we got to go.
Well, we never got thrown out of a racetrack, but my crew chief did get pushed out of the way by Richard Petty. Does that count?
That counts. That's big. That's big. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules and being patient with us in our little leave of absence there. So we're good to go for a while now. So thank you for your support and for your comments and participation tonight. And Chuck, you got anything for our fans here?
Nah. Stay safe. Be good. And enjoy the season. Let's see if we can make this thing happen.
Yeah.
If you haven't been vaccinated. I heard it's down to 30 now.
Yeah.
So pretty much almost everybody. So get out there and get it going.
For our Christian
Let's get
viewers,
this racing going.
Happy Easter. For our non-Christian people.
Well, we'll be back before Easter, I hope. Man.
Yeah, Easter's Sunday.
Palm Sunday.
Yeah. No, Palm Sunday was yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. Happy Palm Sunday, but Easter, the 4th.
Easter, so have a nice Passover, a nice Easter. And remember, these types of holidays are about family. Take time to be with your family.
Yep.
Enjoy the races. Be safe. See you next week, everybody.
Bye.